Picture this. You're stuck on a tiny, windswept rock in the middle of nowhere, miles from anyone, with just two other guys. Your job? Keep a lighthouse glowing so ships don't crash. It's December 1900, freezing cold, and the sea's roaring. Then, one day, a boat arrives, and you're gone. No sign, no scream, no goodbye. That's the true story of the Flannan Isles, a mystery that's haunted Scotland for over 120 years. Welcome to the Untold, where we chase the shadows history left behind. Today we're diving deep into the vanishing of 3 lighthouse keepers. What happened on that lonely island? Let's start with the place. The Flannan Isles are 7 rocky specks off Scotland's Outer Hebrides, about 20 miles west of the Isle of Lewis. They're named after Saint Flannan, a 7th century Irish monk who supposedly built a chapel on the biggest island, Eilean Mor. But don't let the saintly name fool you. These islands are brutal. Steep cliffs, pounding waves, and winds that scream through the night. On Eilean Mor, they finished a lighthouse in December 1899. It's 94 feet tall, with a beam that cuts through fog for 25 miles. Sailors needed it bad. These waters are a ship graveyard. Now, meet the 3 men who ran it in 1900. James Ducat, born March 12, 1857, was the principal keeper. At 43, he was a pro, 20 years on the job, a bushy beard, and a wife with 4 kids back in Kirkcudbright. Thomas Marshall, born June 8, 1860, was his assistant. 40 years old, calm, a rule follower who'd worked lighthouses since his 20s. Then there's Donald McArthur, born April 15, 1863. He was 37, an occasional keeper, subbing in for a sick guy named William Ross. McArthur wasn't a regular, just a local from Breskleet who knew the sea. These 3 weren't newbies. They'd faced storms, fixed lamps, and lived in isolation before. So why did they disappear? We got a paper trail, kinda. Lighthouse keepers kept a slate for quick notes, then copied them into a logbook. On December 7, 1900, Ducat wrote, "Gale, north by northwest, heavy rain. Normal stuff for winter." December 10th, high seas, wind fierce. December 12th, stormy, can't see shore. By December 13th, Marshall noted, winds dropping, waves still big. December 14th, sea calming, light drizzle. Then December 15th, the last entry, storm ended, sea calm. God is over all. After that, blank. The supply ship, SS Hesperus, was scheduled for December 20. Captain Jim Holman, a grizzled sailor, ran it, but storms delayed them till December 26th, Boxing Day. On board was Joseph Moore, a 32-year-old relief keeper born May 19, 1868. He was set to rotate in. As they neared Eilean Mor, Moore saw the light was out. Weird, it should have been blazing. Holman blasted the horn. Silence. Moore rowed ashore with 2 crewmen, John Milne and Robert Sinclair. They climbed the 160 stone steps, hearts pounding. Moore pushed the door open. Nothing. No one. Inside, it was frozen in time. The kitchen table had cold mutton, boiled potatoes, and a loaf of bread, half-eaten. A wooden chair lay tipped over. 2 oilskin coats hung by the door, Ducat's and Marshall's. But McArthur's was missing. The clock on the wall stopped at 3:15. Nobody knows if it was AM or PM. The logbook stopped to December 14th, but that slate had the December 15th note. Storm ended, sea calm. God is over all, written in Marshall's neat handwriting. Outside was chaos. A storm had hit between December 15th and 26th. Waves ripped apart a storage box 108 feet above sea level. Iron railings were twisted like straw. A lifebuoy was torn off its hook. But the lighthouse itself, untouched. The lamp's oil reservoir was full, wicks freshly trimmed, glass clean. It could have lit up any second. So why didn't it? Where were they? Word spread fast. On December 29th, 1900, Robert Muirhead, a Northern Lighthouse Board superintendent, arrived. Born August 3rd, 1855, He'd seen weird stuff in his 30-year career, but this? Unheard of. He searched every inch of Eileen Moor. No bodies, no blood, no boat. The keeper's boots were still inside. Why go out barefoot? Muirhead interviewed Moore, who said the silence felt heavy, unnatural. The Hesperus crew backed him up. Milne swore he saw a shadow move on the cliffs. Newspapers went wild. The Dundee Courier on January 5, 1901, ran Mystery of the Flannan Light. Locals on Lewis whispered about curses. Muirhead's report, filed January 8, 1901, guessed a wave took them, but he admitted it didn't add up. 3 experienced men, gone in calm weather? No way. Let's break it down. Theory 1, a rogue wave. The Flannan Seas can spit up 100-foot monsters. Maybe on December 15th, one hit while they fix something outside. MacArthur's coat being gone fits. He might have rushed out. But why no wreckage? No bodies ever washed up. Theory 2, a breakdown. Some say MacArthur snapped. That tipped chair? Maybe he fought Ducat and Marshall. They chased him outside, and all 3 fell off the cliffs. But Ducat's letters home were happy. No tension. And the island's too small to lose 3 guys. Theory 3, the spooky stuff. Eileen Moor had stories. Fishermen said St. Flannan's ghost roamed the rocks. Others claimed lights danced in the sky, UFOs maybe. In 1899, a worker building the Lighthouse, Angus Campbell, quit after hearing voices. No evidence, but it chills you. Theory 4, they ran. Could they have staged it? Stolen a passing boat. Ducat had debts, pound 12, big for 1900, but their families swore they'd never abandon them. And how do you escape an island with no ride? The Lighthouse stayed manned till 1971, when it went automatic. Later keepers reported odd stuff. In 1925, keeper Ian McLean heard footsteps on the stairs. No one there. In 1947, John Allen said he saw 3 shapes in the fog. Even Moore, who died in 1935, told his son the island watched him that day. Today, Eileen Moor's empty. The lighthouse hums on its own. Tourists visit, but no one stays long. The Northern Lighthouse Board still calls it an accident. But the questions linger. Did the sea claim them? Did they flee? Or did something darker take them away? We're 124 years in, and the Flannan Isles keep their secret. So here we are. After digging through the stormy days of December 1900, the eerie clues, and the wild theories, we're still standing on the edge of Eileen Moor with no solid ground. James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald McArthur didn't just vanish from a lighthouse. They slipped into a question mark that's lasted 124 years. The stop clock at 3:15, the missing coat, the calm sea after the storm. It's like they left us a puzzle with pieces that don't fit. And maybe that's the real hook of this story. It's not about finding an answer. It's about what the unknown does to us. Think about Joseph Moore for a second. That relief keeper who rowed ashore on December 26, 1900, never shook what he felt. He told his wife, Mary, years later, before he passed in 1935, that the air on Eileen Moor was thick, like it held something alive. He wasn't a guy who spooked easy. Born in 1868, he'd worked tough jobs since he was 16, yet he swore the island watched him as he searched. And he wasn't alone. Later keepers, like Ian McLean in 1925, heard boots clomping up the spiral stairs. No one there. John Allen in 1947 saw shadows in the mist that looked like 3 men. Were they tricks of the wind, or echoes of Ducat, Marshall, and MacArthur still tied to that rock? Then there's the world outside. The Northern Lighthouse Board's report on January 8, 1901, called it a wave. Case closed. But Robert Muirhead, the superintendent, scribbled private notes we found in 1980's archives. He wrote, "I cannot believe the sea took them all. Not like this." Even he doubted his own conclusion. Newspapers back then, like the Edinburgh Evening News on January 10, 1901, ran headlines screaming curse of the Flannans. Locals on Lewis still tell kids to steer clear of Eileen Moor, say it's St. Flannan's domain, and he doesn't like company. Science says it's just a freak accident. Folklore says it's something older. Which pulls you more? Here's what keeps me up. If it was a wave, where's the proof? No boots, no hats, nothing washed up. If they fought, why no mess beyond tip chair? If they ran, how'd they sail off an island with no boat, leaving their families behind? And if it's the weird stuff, ghosts, lights in the sky, why'd it pick 3 random keepers on a quiet day? The Flannan Isles don't talk. They sit there, 20 miles off Scotland, letting gulls and waves guard whatever happened. This is why the untold exists. Stories like this don't end. They ripple. They make us wonder about the edges of what we know. Do the sea claim them? Or do they step into something bigger? Drop your thoughts below. I'm dying to hear them. Hit like if this got you. Subscribe if you're in. We're at 46 subs, and you're part of this. Next time, we'll chase another shadow. Until then, listen close. Maybe the wind's still whispering their names.